Sorry, I have not been able to upload a review for Yashahime in a couple episodes, so this is going to be a 2-in-1 for episodes 7 and 8, but we're going to be focusing mostly on episode 8. But the main thing we really want to focus on with episode 7 is the reveal of Kirinmaru. And the fact that, he is actually I don't want to say alive, but physically in the real realm. When the girls were talking to the spirit tree, she was like, "Oh, if you defeat Sesshomaru, Kirinmaru will emerge." Making us think, because, since Sesshomaru was seemingly sealed inside the tree, making us think that Kirinmaru was sealed somewhere. But that is apparently not the case. So that just throws a little bit more mystery onto the whole thing. But something I found interesting. If we go back to when Miyoga said that it didn't sound like Kirinmaru when they said that he was trying to distort time or something. He said what didn't sound like the Kirinmaru he knew. And then when what's her name? Is it Kiyuki? That's her name. One of the four perils. When she mentions that the Toketsu, the last the first of the four perils that was defeated, had been killed, he doesn't seem to remember. And he mentions that he must have been powerful to have served under me. So you get the feeling that Kirinmaru isn't the kind of guy that's just one of those villains that just doesn't give a shit about his subordinates. So it's like if people are saying that this doesn't seem like what Kirinmaru would do, and then this Kirinmaru guy doesn't remember his own subordinates, it really seems like there's something fishy going on here, that either he's lost his memories or maybe it's an imposter. Because somebody that follows his channel mentioned that the voice actor, or not the voice actor, the name of the Towa's teacher in the modern era is somehow related to the spelling of Kirinmaru in the feudal era. And to go off of that, there's apparently the same voice actor for both characters in Japan is the same person. So there could be some real credibility to this whole theory going around that Kirinmaru is somehow already started to affect time, or is from the future, much like Towa is. Then we have where Towa meets this guy named Yuki. I think that's his name. At first, you don't trust him. It's like, alright, dog. Just random dude with a sword, chilling. He's got a little weird earring power. And then, they have a nice little moment. Little picnic. And then he leaves. And I don't remember the name of Towa's sword, but it's the one that got broke when Mr. Centipede broke into her realm, or her world. Well, he tosses her the real one and tells her to keep it as a gift. And then she winds up getting arrested, and then that ties us into where the first episode left off, where she was captured and Owl Guy was interrogating her. And so that brings us full circle. And that leads us into episode 8. Because that, obviously, we know how that ended with, she was rescued by Setsuna and Motoha, and they start chasing after Owl Guy. So then episode 8, we're really going to focus on, Setsuna and Motoha start chasing after the Owl Guy. Jubi is then confirmed to be working with Riku. Now, a few episodes ago, been asking the questions like, I had mentioned that I didn't trust Jubei. I said this guy is fishy. He knows too much. He's got too much intel. He's got connections. And, like, you know, who's he answering to with all this money? Well, now we apparently have the answer, and it's clearly Riku. So, weird guy that had Shogun's sword with mysterious earring power is also connected to Jubei, who is basically a bounty giver. Who apparently, from the way I'm reading this, Riku is the one that has requested the Four Perils to be killed. And there's some things going out there where people think that maybe Riku is Kirinmaru's son or something. I don't know where that came from. I'm not really seeing that. But, maybe. But I haven't seen enough evidence to go on to that just yet. But, you know, Jubei's like, you know, they could probably kill him, but you could do it yourself, no problem. Then Riku's like, I don't like to kill the perils because I don't like them. I only like to kill things I love. And he says he doesn't like them, so apparently they've had some kind of run-in in the past before. But he does mention that he will be taking their pearls. So, like, everybody else has come around so far, he's after the rainbow pearls. The only thing we know is that they give you, like, some kind of, like, power boost or something, but we don't know yet the full extent of their power or what they unlock. And I'm still waiting for an explanation on that. Then we switch to Kyuki giving Owl Guy, because I do not remember the guy's name, he's so insignificant. You know, she gives him one of the pearls to fight against Muroha and Setsuna and them. They body him pretty easy, but then the pearl's power kicks in and he puts him to sleep and starts taking her drink. And by them, you know, it's Muroha and Towa, because Setsuna can't sleep. But he starts feeding off their dreams and the little raccoon guy. And in these dreams, this is the real interesting part of the episode and what I want to focus on in the review, is that we see a dream where the owl guy is being given away to Jubei by Moroku. And quick throw in right now, Moroku's voice actor, I believe it was a Japanese voice actor, passed away just recently. Obviously, we want to pay our respects to that, so a quick and brief moment of silence for that. But we don't get to see what Moroku is saying. Sorry for that noise, I forgot the fan was on. But we don't get to see what Moroku is saying. But Jubei says that he won't be able to treat the young lord the way he has, that he'll have to make him work, and Moroku just walks away, seemingly. So that's going to be interesting to find out the context of that and what Moroku's... And that's the second time we've seen Moroku walking by himself. Like, where the hell is Sango? What's going on here? You know? In another dream, though, and this is the one that really matters, is that we see Inuyasha and Kagome. Alright? And it's got Inuyasha standing there with Tessaiga out, and Kagome is holding what appears to be Muroha, and she's giving her the clamshell with the Rouge. May or may not have the rainbow pearl in it. But saying that they wanted to give it to her if they ever had a daughter. And then handing her off, I forget who she handed it off to, or Muroha off to, but was handing her away because off in the distance you see Kirinmaru and Sesshomaru standing there, and Inuyasha's battle ready. He's like, they're coming. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, I thought Sesshomaru supposedly turned his back on being the watchdog of, what was it, the West? I forget if it's the East or the West, but, you know, but he's there with Kirinmaru and they're fighting Inuyasha, and why? What is going on? What? So, really got some questions to be answered, but they're starting to really sprinkle us some nice breadcrumbs here. And the last portion of this episode deals with Setsuna defeating the owl guy because he's garbage. Hiyuki watches the dreams and says she thinks she understands what's happening, or what has happened, which we're going to touch on in a minute, because there was another dream where we see Rin in what appears to be the sacred tree, where she's sleeping, and in the dream it says to not have your dreams must, or not to be able to sleep is a terrible fate, or something to that degree, but to have an endless sleep must also be terrible. And then I forget who it was. I want to say it was Axel Beats. Great YouTube channel for inuyasha content. Said that if you look at this in reverse order, that it looks like it's an outline, as in something happens with the dream butterfly that caused Rin to go into this endless coma. So Sesshomaru and Kirinmaru teamed up and confronted Inuyasha for some reason to try and free her. We don't know why, but that's seemingly a possible outcome here. And so maybe that's what Kyuki is referring to here. She sees something that we are just barely getting the inklings of story about. Anyways, then Kyuki gets confronted by the girls, and she winds up stealing Miroha and Towa's energy. So that leaves Setsuna to fight her alone in her big griffin-looking form, which she isn't all that powerful, but she looks badass. She does put up a good fight for a minute, but we then get confirmation that Towa being so overpowered, which is something that people have had a problem with, and myself included, really, I haven't really had a problem with it in terms of, like, hey, to me, she's like the main character. She's the Sesshomaru of this group. Maybe not in attitude, but in looks and sheer badassery. So I've been okay with it, but I understand it from a storytelling perspective why people have a problem with it, and I have to kind of call it out as it happens. But one thing to note is that Miroha hits her with a mini Soul Reaver, and she's able to absorb the energy, so she can absorb demonic energy and then redistribute it. You know, which kind of like a funnel, and shoot it back out, which is going to be a ridiculously OP ability down the road. But then we have Riku's watching the fight from above, saying he wants to see Towa use the Azure Dragon that she inherited from Sesshomaru. You know, Setsuna gets puts up a fight, but she can't do nothing. So Towa gets in there, starts throwing down, and tries to use the Azure Dragon, but she's a pussy, can't do it. Then Setsuna comes in and rescues her and gets hurt, and then Towa, remembering all the time she saved and what happened when they were kids, goes rage mode, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan moment, releases this massive ass Azure Dragon attack, obliterates the bitch, and then they are not really rescued because the fight's technically over, but then Kyuki comes after witnessing the fight, and Riku, oh no, I think I got that mixed up. After they defeat Kyuki, Riku shows up, apologies there, and basically he just flips his earring and just turns her to dust and takes her pearl away after she basically looks up at him in some disgust, you know. So it's like, damn, this dude is fucking OP as hell. Right now, this dude, like, Kirinmaru is not the main villain. This dude and the Sacred Tree, now I don't even think the Sacred Tree is really the main villain. I think it's this guy's the main villain. Two possibilities here. Either this guy's the main villain, and the Sacred Tree is saying that Sesshomaru and Kirinmaru need to be defeated in order to somehow have a way to defeat this guy, or she's been tricked into, you know, having the only two people power enough to take him on out of the picture, being Kirinmaru and Sesshomaru. Or the other possibility, it could be like the old school Inuyasha route, where it's Naraku's the main villain, for the entirety, and then the Shikon Jewel is revealed to be the actual in-game boss. Maybe this Riku guy is the Naraku of the series, but then the Sacred Tree has been manipulating everybody the entire time. That would be a sick-ass twist, actually, and I'm kind of low-key hope that happens, really. That would be a nice way to tie everything full circle. But yeah, he takes the pearl, and that's basically the end of the episode. It was, for the most part, great episode. I mean, you can't deny the facts. I mean, getting to see Sesshomaru and Inuyasha about to throw down again, like, nothing but questions. What the hell is happening, you know? But there's only one problem I have, real problem I have with the episode, and that is this. So, Riku, the previous episode, tosses Toa a sword that was kidnapped from a shogun, and that sword happened to be the real version of what her family heirloom was a replica of, and she gets in trouble for it. Then he comes along, saves them, acts all nonchalant about it, and she doesn't ask a damn question about it. She doesn't say shit. She's just like, oh, hey, yeah, cool. Oh, by the way, you take that rainbow pearl too. We don't need it. We know how powerful it is, and you're clearly OP as hell, but get out of here, dog. What? Motherfucker, y'all nearly got your ass executed. I mean, sure, you were never in no real danger, but it's the principle that matters. You should be pissed as fuck. Like, what? That was kind of thrown to the side. Kind of like, and I'm going to keep mentioning it until I get my answers. Why Sango and Moroku's son attacked Inuyasha's daughter? Why'd you attack Moro? Still gonna bring that up until I get a solid answer. Not gonna stop. And the same here, like, why, no, man, motherfucker almost got me arrested, or did get me arrested like that? I'm asking questions when I see the dog. I'm like, dude, fam, what's up? Let's throw some hands, you know? I mean, naturally, he would have bodied them, but you get my point. But what did you think about the episode? And what do you think is, the story they're trying to start to outline here? Do you think that Axel Beats is onto something? Was it Ren's descent into sleep that led to Sesshomaru confronting Inuyasha? Or something else, you know? And why is Sesshomaru team up with Kirinmaru? And is Kirinmaru somehow this teacher from the modern era, or is he an imposter? You know, has there already been time-traveling shenanigans going on in between that we just don't know about? I think we're into some really good stuff after, like, I'd say after, like, episode 10, maybe 11, we're really going to get into the meat of this story, and it's going to freaking be epic. We might even wind up getting a season 2. This could really pop off. You know, what do you think? Do you think this Riku guy is the real main villain, or do you think there's any merit to this idea I have about the Sacred Tree kind of pulling the strings over and behind the scenes and pulling a wool over everybody's eyes, you know? Or do you have a completely different theory, you know? Let me know. Drop a like. Hit the subscribe button. Comment your theories. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you in the next